welcome to, I guess, my very first YouTube video. Well, very first YouTube video where I'm not like a disembodied voice in the background. But I wanted to take the opportunity to make a beginner foam prop cosplay tutorial. So I've been making patterns for a couple years now, but I wanted to make something that focuses more on beginner-friendly patterns. So I've gotten a lot of messages about people telling me it was the first cosplay prop they've built, whether that was the Fishbones or the Atlas cones, and I was like, oh boy, that is a frightening way to get into it. So today I'll show how to make your very own Isha helmet from Arcane Season 2. I thought this was a great prop to kind of like teach people the really fundamental basics in making your own foam props. And I think it's really cute. So for this video, you'll see I'll be using the pattern I made. It's on my Etsy store. It makes it a lot easier. All you do is cut out the pieces and trace them onto foam, and I'll show you how to assemble it all. And you may ask, what are my qualifications to this? Okay, I don't know if this is qualifications as much as maybe an obsession, but trust me. So for this build, we're going to be using the pretty cheap craft foam that you can get at any craft store. So there's some higher density EVA foam you'll see some cosplayers use, but for this, because we're creating such a flexible geometric shape, we want the really kind of loose flexible foam. So all the materials you need: some EVA foam. I used 6, 4, and 2 millimeters, though if you wanted to forego the 4, you can just kind of double layer the 2 to create a slightly thicker version. A craft knife, this is the one I use. It's nice and thick to get through the harder thicker foams, or you can just use a regular X-Acto knife, and contact cement. This stuff is really gross, so if you're using it, you need to be outside in a ventilated area or with some type of PPE. And optional materials, this is my Dremel. I use to smooth out the edges and a heat gun to seal it in the end, but you can totally get away without that. Alright, so I'm taking my pattern, and after cutting out the pieces, I'm going to trace them onto the foam. So this piece base one also includes little registration marks. I'm going to transfer those to the foam as well, and that'll help us, because there are 6 of these that need to be attached to create the dome. It'll help us line everything up and keep it looking good. So contact cement. This stuff works by basically you put a thin layer on both sides of the foam that you're going to attach. Then you wait for it to dry, which usually takes around 15 minutes. And then after it's dry to the touch, then you attach it, and it creates a really strong bond. So you can see I'm doing a really thin layer. I'm using a Q-tip for this, just so I can have a lot of control over this small edge. I'm just spreading it all over both sides. And so because of the 6 pieces that we need to make the dome, I will be doing this on both sides of all 6 pieces. And to attach, so I'm starting with the point, tip, whatever of these 2 base 1 pieces, and I'm taking my time to gently attach those edges, making sure that all the registration lines match up. You can see how helpful these little marks are. And feel free to really manhandle this foam. It can be a bit stiff at times, even though we're using the more flexible foam, just because we're using a 2D material to create an unholy 3D shape. So take your time and wrestle with it. You see, I'm taking my time to line up all edges, make sure the top, the registration marks, and the bottom are attached. Now I'm going to attach both halves, so make sure you're only attaching 3 at a time and then attaching both halves together. Don't even try to do all 6 at once, because you will have a horrible, terrible time. And you're right if you could guess how I found that out. Attaching one side of the dome and just pressing it in to make sure everything's attached nicely, and the other. And then here we go. Here we have our first base complete. So now we're going to move on to the second part of the base, which is the brim. So instead of cutting straight down as you usually would, you can see I'm cutting at a small, slight angle all the way through the foam. Slow process, just gently tilting that knife slightly so you can get what's called a beveled cut. This will give us a slight angle when we attach the brim to the helmet, so it's not kind of sticking off at a 90-degree angle. It's a little subtler. See, there you can see the slight angle. And then what I'll do is I'll attach both pieces of base 2 together to create kind of a weird angled circle. But this is going to be our brim. It will be much easier to visualize next to the rest of it. So now I'm attaching it so that the beveled side is on the inside to the helmet, and I'm attaching it with a thin layer of contact cement I put along the base of the dome. So I'm just taking my time to slowly attach. Luckily, because we're using the more flexible low density foam, you can really get away with a lot with this. If you accidentally pull too tight on one side, you can kind of squish it up and attach as needed. So this step is definitely optional, but I just want to show you how I use a Dremel tool, which is basically just like a rotating sandpaper at incredible speed. But I use it to kind of smooth out all the edges of the foam so you don't have that sharp 90-degree angle on either sides. So basically I just take my tool and I just really gently do small motions across the surface in the same direction as the rotation of the sanding tool. And that just gives it a nicer, cleaner edge. So you'll see I'll do that around both sides of the brim, just to even it out. Again, totally optional step. And you'll see I also use the Dremel to kind of clean up all the edges on the pieces that I'll start attaching. So now we'll start with section A. So here we attach, so after attaching the rim of the goggle to the base piece, we're going to use the A3 piece, which is the little 2mm piece here, and attach it to the side. We want to make sure that back is flush because we'll be gluing the back of it to the front of the helmet. You want to have a nice, smooth, even leveled surface to attach. And then I'll take the little buckle piece and attach that here, and you can see how great the contact cement is to just push those pieces together and create a really strong bond. And then we will do the same process, but with the reflected portion so that we can have both sides of the goggles. We're going to attach them with the A6 piece. You can see I'm just pushing that down right now. Or that's and then some detail pieces. And the other piece. And I don't know what this is about, but you can see it starting to look like Heimerdinger. As I was building this, I was like, what am I making? This is looking like the wrong character, but I swear it'll come together at the end. Alright, now to attach. So the best way to do this is take the piece you just made and outline it before you get to the gluing stage. That way you're not using too much glue, it's not becoming a whole mess. So carefully outline. I'm just using a marker, nothing fancy, but you'll notice that I'm not outlining the buckles on either side of the goggles. This is because the next piece we'll be doing and attaching, A7, will need to be threaded through there before tacking down. So I'm just tacking down, just drawing a shape around the goggles minus the buckles. Now I attached, you can see I put the glue on. It looks pretty gross, that's why we want to keep it nice and contained, and I'm gently pressing the goggles onto the helmet. Making sure to really take your time to line it up. This stuff is really strong, and if you put it in the wrong spot, it's going to be really difficult to detach and try again. There we go, it looks pretty good. Now we're taking the A7 piece, and you see I put a little bit of glue at the end of it, and we're just folding it over so the connection is on the back, facing the helmet. Let's just attach it, give it a little more three-dimensional look. Place it like that. And then we're going to do the same steps. So now that both are attached, we're going to make sure it lays flat. I added a little extra just in case. You never know how foam pulls, if it'll be even in the back, not too much, not enough. So I added a little extra, and all we'll do is just measure out the center line, make a mark, and just hack off that excess. First, we need to create the little feather that'll sit right underneath that strap. So I'm attaching the 3 B pieces like this to create our little 3-dimensional feather. And then I whipped out the hot glue gun because I don't like using the contact cement if I don't need to. But just press it under there, and then we'll resume mapping out exactly how our A7 and buckle piece are going to sit. Okay, first I guess you gotta throw the marker across the screen, but mark. Glue, Same as we've been doing. And just be careful with this because the buckles can pull because the foam is so flexible. And then again, I miscut the first time. So I'm just going through and gently trimming. Now for the unholy C piece. So you can see I have this weird diamond shape on it. I got this shape just by cutting out the middle diamond piece from the pattern and just kind of tracing it on there. So what it represents is the exact space we're going to put contact cement the glue. And then after the glue is dry, we're going to fold it over, and only the foam with the glue in that space will glue to itself, if that makes sense. And you see I'm folding it right down the middle, and you can see that this kind of like ridge is starting to appear in the foam. And then after it's attached, if you kind of unfold it, only the glued parts will stay, and you'll have kind of a ridge going down the middle. So now take this and use the new shape, because we changed the shape of it so much, to trace out exactly where it's going to sit on the top of the helmet, and then just glue it down. And take your time pressing it down. As is in the name, this glue contact cement works through contact, so make sure you're not just kind of putting it on there, but pressing it down to really create the strong adhesive bond. And now it's kind of looking like something. Alright, so the next detail piece is this kind of like cords. So you can see I wrapped an extra little piece of foam around the front of it just to give it a little more detail. But take your time gluing. I whipped out the hot glue gun for this because I looked at it and I was like, this is going to be way too annoying to figure out where it's going to sit before actually placing it. So hot glue gun works perfectly fine for this. And you can see I'm just taking my time to wrap the longer piece around the entire top of the helmet, and I'm just kind of wrapping the two together to give more of a braided look. Now finally finishing attaching, I'm going to tack it down like that in the end. Now some final details. You see I went a little out of order for this, but it's fine. So the D pieces are all just creating little like not rivets, but like little screw heads. So attaching either sides with a little gap in the middle to create the hexagonal screw head. You'll see I'll do the same thing for the circular one. Hey, me again. I accidentally forgot to show where all the little rivets go. So, circle one goes right in the front. The little, whatever this is, the hexagonal screw head, it's on the left side. And the two little brads go right here and here. Sorry. And now here is what your finished, very naked helmet should look like. And then I'm heating up the surface with my heat gun just to close the cells and create a less porous surface. Makes paint stick to the foam easier. So the next step is painting. I'm not going to go into painting, but I will tell you how to successfully prime it. So I like to use, and this is pretty much the standard, plastic dip. So there's two different types, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. This is like the one you'll find at the average hardware store, and this is one you'll find at your craft store. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, but both work well. And then adding a light coat of plastic dip to my helmet. Usually I'll do 3 light coats, but because it's a smaller project, I think I opted to do just 2. You can see I'm taking my time, gently passing over, and you want to keep it light so that you don't have drips that create and form and solidify, and it's not a cute look. So I'm gently coating the whole helmet, and the plastic tip creates like a nice kind of flexible plasticky surface for you to paint over. And then I won't get too much into the paint process, but I just use kind of a combination of the cheapest paints you can possibly find at the craft store, and honestly it's good enough. I've been using that for years and I think it looks great. Here's what my final helmet looks like. Honestly, I think it's really cute, and it's just a fun opportunity to go crazy with paint in the Arcane style, which is my new favorite thing to do. I recently discovered how I paint, so maybe I'll make something on that in the future. If you ended up making this project, send me pictures. I'm on Instagram with the same name. I love to see it. I always repost stuff because it just makes me so excited to see people working with the patterns I've made. But thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you again.